Mental health directly impacts so many areas of our life, from relationships and work down to our ability to just be present day to day. But it can be tough to know where to start when it comes to tackling your personal roadblocks, especially when you're in a rut. And if you're like me, finding time for in-person therapy isn't always easy. Sometimes the idea of going out and fitting appointments into a busy schedule can make things even more overwhelming, which is a big reason why online therapy has been getting so popular. And as I've been looking around for a service to tackle my own wellness goals, I've checked out a bunch of different therapy platforms and found a few that really stood out. So today I'm taking you through some of the best options I've found for online therapy: BetterHelp, OnlineTherapy.com, and TalkSpace. I'll let you in on my experience and break down each of their services, how much they cost, and some pros and cons that I've noticed. So by the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of which online therapy service could work best for you. Now, let's get into it. All right, so out of the three, I put BetterHelp in the top spot because of its large network of licensed therapists and the convenience that it offers, from the quality of the therapy, the 24-hour availability, to the group sessions and weekly worksheets. It's the most well-rounded therapy service that I've tried so far, and it's great for someone like me who likes to keep things organized and accessible. Plus, getting started with BetterHelp is surprisingly easy. First, you'll complete a quick questionnaire, and then they match you with a therapist who fits your needs and your preferences. For me, the matching process was super smooth, and I appreciated how they gave you the option to switch therapists if things don't end up clicking with your initial provider. This flexibility definitely was a major draw for me, because working with a therapist that you feel comfortable with can make all the difference. And BetterHelp tries to make therapy as accessible as possible for everyone, so they also offer financial aid for those who qualify, though their prices are already pretty good, ranging from $70 to $100 a week. That being said, if you're on a tighter budget, it's worth checking to see if you qualify for a discount or exploring their financial aid options. Now, the sessions themselves are relaxed and comfortable. They take place via video call, so they're interactive and actually feel like a regular face-to-face appointment, but without the hassle of having to get in your car and drive to an office across town. And BetterHelp has one of the most impressive teams of therapists available right now. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, you can change yours anytime you want, which is super helpful for finding a therapist you can build the right rapport with. And BetterHelp also incorporates features like digital worksheets and journal prompts, which can help you track your progress and stay consistent with your goals between sessions. Then outside of the sessions themselves, you can directly text your therapist anytime. This was a major factor for me because whenever I felt like talking to my therapist or just needed some quick guidance or advice, I could contact them directly and they would be there. So I don't have to stress and wait around for the next session to get something off of my chest. But while BetterHelp has certainly earned its popularity in the online therapy space, there are still a few things about it that I think could be improved. For one, I did run into a bit of hiccup with my therapist's availability. Sometimes the therapist that I wanted wasn't available in the time slot that worked for me, so I had to make adjustments in my schedule. But it worked out fine in the end. Also, while the subscription covers weekly appointments, some therapists might not always be available right away for additional support between live sessions. This rarely happened for me, but it's something to keep in mind. So if you need extra communication, you need to discuss it with your therapist beforehand. Though overall, BetterHelp takes the first place spot for me because of the qualified professionals they have on their platform and the convenience they provide. So it can be the perfect starting point if you're new to online therapy and want to try it out. But you want to explore some more options. Second on my list is OnlineTherapy.com, a platform that stands out for its focus on cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. And if you're not familiar with CBT, it's basically a form of therapy that helps you navigate your problems by changing the way you think and making gradual little tweaks in your behavior. Now, as someone who's really benefited from CBT in the past, I was curious to see how effective this approach would be online. So when I first signed up, the questionnaire was actually pretty short compared to the other two platforms and contained just a few questions like therapy type and preferences. So it only took a few seconds for me to fill out. And while it wasn't as comprehensive as the others, this was the simplest sign-up process so far. And once that's completed, you'll choose between their 3 different plans. The basic plan, which starts at $48 a week, includes a CBT program with 25 worksheets that'll help you specify what you need to work on. And like BetterHelp, OnlineTherapy.com also offers direct messaging with your therapist, but it's important to mention that the basic plan doesn't include live sessions and that the provider might not be available instantly when you text them. So if you're looking for live sessions where you can get 45 minutes of live chat with your therapist, whether via video, voice, text, or however you prefer, you'll need to upgrade to the standard plan, which costs $72 a week, or the premium plan for $96, which includes 2 live sessions a week. Now, what stood out to me is OnlineTherapy.com's 8-section therapy program, which is broken down into manageable parts. Everything is very organized and structured, which I really appreciated. And each section includes video, audio, and text guidance, so it's very easy to follow along no matter how you prefer to learn. Plus, via their unlimited messaging with your therapist, if something comes up between live sessions, you can still reach out and get support. And I think OnlineTherapy.com has done a great job at implementing the CBT approach online. They go beyond your traditional talk therapy sessions, providing a complete program with worksheets, journals, and even yoga and meditation videos, all designed to help you work through your mental health obstacles at your own pace. You're not just sitting back and waiting for your next live session. Instead, you're actively working through the therapy materials on a daily basis, which keeps you engaged in your own progress. I found the worksheets to be particularly helpful because they really forced me to reflect and work through my thoughts. Plus, you can get feedback from your therapist on these worksheets throughout the week. But there's still a couple of drawbacks to keep in mind. For example, there were times when it was hard for me to schedule live sessions that worked with my calendar, and switching therapists wasn't always smooth. I also felt that some of the features like yoga and meditation could be improved by offering group sessions, but still a nice touch and can be pretty impactful for your overall mood and mental health. This, along with their CBT-focused approach, and the combination of daily worksheets and live sessions makes OnlineTherapy.com's programs very structured and easy to follow. So if you want to get started on your mental health journey with any of the therapy options I'm covering here, you can check out the affiliate links down in the description. It won't cost you anything extra, and you'll get our discount, which you wouldn't get if you went directly through their website. Now, rounding out my list for today is TalkSpace, which is one of the most widely recognized names in online therapy, and for good reason. They provide a wide range of therapy options, from individual and couples therapy to more specialized services like LGBTQ support and therapy for veterans. Once you sign up, you can get matched with a licensed therapist within 48 hours, and the onboarding process is pretty smooth thanks to their personalized assessment. I recommend taking some time to fill out that initial assessment because it can be super helpful to make sure you're paired with someone who understands your unique circumstances and connect with you based on your needs. Now, I do find their pricing to be pretty reasonable as well, and definitely more affordable than in-person therapy. So if you just want to start simple with messaging therapy, where you can text your therapist throughout the day and they'll get back with a response every couple of hours, then you can subscribe for around $70 a week. Or if you want the video call option as well, that'll be around $110 a week. Now, they also offer interactive workshops, which I find to be very helpful to target specific areas like communication, empathy building, depression, and so on. These workshops are like step-by-step lessons and are pretty informative. So you have the option to add them onto your subscription for an additional $10 a week. All right, now, just like BetterHelp and OnlineTherapy.com, TalkSpace also gives you the ability to send messages to your therapist anytime, anywhere. And I always find it helpful to have access to my therapist without needing to schedule a rigid time slot each week. TalkSpace lets you text, send voice notes, or even video messages, making it pretty versatile depending on how you feel, well, most comfortable with communicating. On top of that, you can access their in-app mental health tools and exercises whenever you need them. These come in handy on days when I didn't really feel up for chatting with my therapist, but still wanted to work through some feelings on my own. Plus, one thing that TalkSpace offers that online therapy doesn't usually have is psychiatric services. So you can book appointments with doctors, psychiatrists, or other professionals who are licensed to provide you with medication. And the appointments can be made online, but keep in mind that the psychiatry services are billed separately from the subscriptions and cost $300 for an initial visit and then $175 for follow-up appointments. And you can pick up the medication at your local pharmacy. Or if it's covered by insurance, then you might be able to have it mailed to you. So this can be a great option if you need any sort of medication in combination with regular therapy. But on the flip side, TalkSpace does have its shortcomings. I had some minor issues with the app. It occasionally glitches, particularly during live sessions, which can be very frustrating. And while their therapists are generally great, finding the right match can take a couple of tries, but it's very easy to request and change your therapist with TalkSpace, just like it is with BetterHelp and OnlineTherapy.com. And once you find the right one, making progress towards your mental health goals can get a lot easier. Now, all things considered, TalkSpace is a great choice for people who are looking to start therapy but prefer to fit it into their own schedule without the hassle of in-person appointments. So, to sum things up, after trying these online therapy services, I can honestly say that each one brings something valuable to the table. BetterHelp stands out with its huge network of therapists providing personalized matching and a variety of communication methods, ideal for anyone who still prefers a more traditional therapy experience, but with the convenience of remote sessions. Meanwhile, OnlineTherapy.com is great for those who appreciate structure and want to work through their mental health with the guidance of CBT and a step-by-step program that's both practical and accessible. And last up, TalkSpace versatile services and the ability to message your therapist anytime, anywhere make it a good pick for those who need ongoing support but have a busy schedule. So the best option really comes down to how you prefer to communicate and what you're looking to gain from your sessions. And that's all for today's review. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, then please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more like this. As a reminder, if you decide to get started with any of these therapy services, you can check out the affiliate links in the description at no extra cost to get a discount that you won't find on their websites. Now, as always, I want to hear your thoughts, so go ahead and leave any questions or comments down below, and I'll try and get back to them as fast as I can. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.